Hey, I'm Michael Bungay, standing here from Box of Crayons. And let me ask you this, have you ever had a bad boss in your life, a bad manager, somebody who kind of feels that they're sucking life and meaning and purpose away from you? I know I have. I'm not going to identify who these people are, but I'll tell you one boss I nicknamed Napoleon. He's a kind of short, power-crazed, money-hungry, attention-seeking person who was just terrible to work with. I wouldn't say he was malicious, but he just did a terrible job as a leader. Another boss, we called her Red Dot. I don't know if you've ever seen the moment in the movies where the assassin trains their laser rifle on somebody's head and this red dot appears. Honestly, that's what her team meetings were like. It was just this kind of carnage that would happen because she would lash out when she was under pressure. So the question I have for us is to go, okay, we've all had these bad bosses. We've all felt our heart sink a little bit when we go, I've got to work with this person. But what can you learn from this? What are you going to take away from this? Because if you're not learning, you're not making the most of an opportunity. So there's some obvious stuff that you're learning, which is don't be like that. If they're terrible, don't do what they're doing. If they're winding you up, don't do what they're doing. That's the surface level for sure. But here's a deeper level that I want you to think about. And I get this from a book by Debbie Ford. It's called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. It may be out of print now. It certainly came out quite a while ago. It's honestly a little bit kind of Californian, coachy, touchy-feely, but the insight behind it is really powerful. And really what it's drawing on is Jung's work about the shadow. And his insight is this. We all have elements of who we are in this world that as children we're taught to disown, to throw into our own shadow, to kind of put behind us. And Jung's famous phrase is this: the gold is in the dark. Or another way of putting something similar, I'd rather be a whole person than a good person. Really powerful insights. I'd rather be a whole person than a good person. So the working with the shadow side is saying this: when you get wound up by somebody, when somebody rubs you the wrong way, when somebody irritates you, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where they're not even in the room, but you start to think about them and you start twitching and kind of getting frustrated. And if you're like me, you start having these great monologues in your head about how you prove you're the smartest, cleverest person to them. You kind of crush them somehow. Debbie Ford's suggestion, building on Jung, is that what you're seeing is being triggered by things about you that are in your shadow that you haven't yet acknowledged. And this is a really kind of deeper level about what you might learn from a crazy bad boss, or honestly, anybody who triggers you, who kind of winds you up. And the exercise, simple but difficult, is this: write down the characteristics of that other person who kind of makes you mad, makes you crazy. If I think of Napoleon, I might go power hungry, money grabbing, terrible at actually actively leading people. All of that is true. However, why did it wind me up so much? So this is the second part of the exercise: is own those characteristics for yourself. Here's what it sounds like. I, Michael, I am power hungry. I, Michael, I am money grabbing. I, Michael, I'm not good at actively leading and managing people. And I can feel it in my body even as I speak. It's like as you say that, there's this kind of shock of recognition. Now, I know that's not the only truth about me, but it is part of the whole truth about me. And I know I've been busy trying to go, okay, I'm power hungry, that's true about an element of me, so let me see how I can avoid being a power hungry person. That's probably not a terrible outcome, but I now get triggered by other people who have that power hungry side to them. So owning that, admitting, yes, Michael, I am power hungry, I do have that ambition, can be a really powerful way of kind of fully integrating with who I am. And the bonus, of course, is you stop getting wound up by people who have that characteristics. So look, honestly, nobody wants a terrible boss. And honestly, we all have terrible bosses. If yours hasn't come yet, they're waiting for you. Believe you me, they're down the road. They'll be showing up soon enough. Don't waste the opportunity of having a terrible boss. Understand that it's a powerful mirror for you, a chance for you to actually look into your shadow, integrate your shadow, and become a more whole, more powerful, more together person. Hey, it's Michael. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching that. It's always appreciated when you actually get to the very end of it. And now you're here. let me ask just a couple of quick favors if I may. The first is this: if you picked up a copy of The Coaching Habit and you even went as far as to read it, well then let me ask this of you: would you consider putting a review or a rating on Amazon.com? You know, my goal is to have more than 1,000 reviews on Amazon.com. It's one of the ways the book would become considered a classic. And if you're so inclined, I would love to see that up there on Amazon.com. So thank you for that in advance. Also, if you're accessing this through iTunes, either watching it or listening to it, then a rating or review on iTunes is also really gratefully received. I know these are small things, but actually they make quite a big difference in terms of helping us spread the news and the impact that we're seeking to have at Box of Crayons. You know, we're on our own quest to do less good work and more great work. And let me wish you the very best in your own quest to do less good work and more great work.